Hey guys, let's talk about the Vigilante team and Daredevil Modern and some of these guys. Um, he came out today. I went ahead and went with his small orb offer, and I actually came out pretty good. I don't like that orb offer as well as we used to get the old ones, but this one I got 180 pulls, so that was great. Otherwise, I was doing sixes and eights, so nothing amazing there. But I ended up with 4.5 stars on him, so awesome. The Vigilante team, they are kind of all over the place. We've got events already starting for them guys, and they're needed. We got to do stuff. We want free stuff. I think it's Raid Frenzy's got stuff for them already, so we already have to use the Vigilante team with Blitz. Now this is only giving us 1 credit per character or per sim. Even if you use 3 characters per sim, it doesn't matter. So you can throw in 1 character, sim 4 times using 5 blitz credits and put in 4 other bozos, and you still get 4 credits. It doesn't matter if you put 3 of them in there or 1 of them. It doesn't make a difference. So I recommend only doing 1 character, doing it 4 times, and then go put a different character in and do it 4 times. You barely use blitz credits that way. Um, Makes it super easy. These are super nice because we have been using that stuff in the chaotic raid, especially trying to make 70%. So I recommend grabbing that. We also had another 1 star. So we had this Vigilant Energy start with the new Daredevil campaign, and that's a daily thing. I think that used to be the kind of the equivalent of what the online milestone was for like the Starjammers and the Liberty team. So that's pretty cool. Make sure you're doing that each day. Um, Pretty decent rewards. We got more currencies for the monthly, and we've got, some character shards in there. If you still need the Lander crystals, they're in there also. So that's cool. This is a cool one. Um, we get a free diamond orb just for using 2 characters. You get a chance at a 3 diamond for Silver Sable, which I think is the only good character of this team right now, by the way. So there's that. But that orb's pretty cool. You have your chance of your 3 diamond, or your 2 diamond, or your 1 diamond. I got a 1 diamond, I suck. And you get some silver diamond credits on the sides. But if you happen to lucky pull any of them, you end up with another diamond orb. Because a 5 drops, like as you saw, I pulled that 180 once. I'm only 70 shards away, and we have 30 days to do this. So that means we're going to start getting the mini orbs. We're going to probably have a free-to-play event by then. So I'm probably guaranteed the 5-star Daredevil for doing nothing. And as you can see, I already have 10 points. If 20 points gets me the next orb, and same thing with these other 2. If you get any luck at all, you can all of a sudden have a chance at. And if you do all 3, you get the 3 diamonds. Which, I mean, that's spending for sure, but pretty cool for if you just happen to luck out on one of the characters. You get a diamond orb for it, and you get 1 for just being free to play. So that's awesome. Can't complain there. I think that was the only other thing. Where is it? I wanted to talk about that one also. Okay, the Vigilante raid battles. This one, I did something different here. So you can see I already got credit even though it started today. I didn't do it in the chaotic raid. I need 3 diamonds in both these raids in difficulty 2 or difficulty 5. So I went into difficulty 2, and on the first node, I just went in here and used the 3 Vigilante characters with 2 bozos and clicked lose. And the reason I did that is so that I don't have to use them in the chaotic raid, because I don't want to use them on my sack team. My sack team does something in the skill nodes. And I'll show you my sack team that I use, and I think they're so much better than this Vigilante team right now. Let's go ahead. I'll create that team for you right now. We go in here to skill, and that team that I'm using right now is this character, this character, this character, and this character. And this team by itself is able to probably do about 50% of a node. If I just go in there and take a few hits, I usually can get, a character almost dead or something like that. A lot of times that's the difference between me needing 2 attacks or 3 attacks, because I'm able to do enough damage with this team that Jean Grey's about to die, or I get Sasquatch low enough that he doesn't taunt anymore. Like, it makes the node faster so that I can meet that time frame, because it's hard to get Spider Society to full clear a node. So that is why I really don't want to be using Elektra and Punisher and this Daredevil Modern until they function, because their kits are super locked behind 5 characters. So I'm using these characters right now instead. And so, as you saw, I already did the weekly, but I did it in a different spot, and I'll save that. That's fine. But then the other thing that I want to talk about is these characters aren't super needed right now. Yes, I'm leveling them. I will make them 105. It's just I'm not doing it fast. I took them to 85 so that I can give them purple ISO so that they could go in the raid. That was the only reason they're 85 right now. Electra, I accidentally took her to 105, but that's okay because I kind of think that she's got some value. I haven't T4'd anybody yet. I haven't made a decision on what I'm doing there. But Electra is slow, which has value. I think this might have a potential to play in room 4 of season 14. I haven't completely thought out the plan yet, or if it's even like reasonable. But she might be able to either play offense or defense because of that room rule. And the thing about her is she goes in stealth on spawn with this tier 4 or this tier 5. So she's on spawn goes in stealth, and her first ability that she wants to do reapply stealth. So on defense, she's not targetable. That's super good, and in that room, you're not going to be able to get her out because she's going to resist everything. And she hits hard. She hits hard and clear stuff on her turn 2. Which actually, no, I apologize. That's not her turn 1. This is her turn 1. This one it hits like a truck. It clears barrier. It hits for 460% damage plus piercing. Applies disrupt. And if she kills something, she gets speed bar on that. It's here. She gets 80% speed bar, and she's a villain. I haven't released that room and why I think this is going to be a thing, but stay tuned. That's going to be in the next video. As soon as they turn on the rooms, I've got a plan to show you guys. I think it's going to be pretty cool, and I think she might either be offense or defense. I haven't decided yet, but I've got some plans. So she's 105. Punisher, I think, is the best character of this team by the Envoy footage. He does the damage. I plan to put 3 diamonds on both of these. I don't think they're amazing characters. I also think this team might get buffed because I don't think it's very good. But it's a raid team. It does what it does. It works in raid. Daredevil Modern, I went ahead and gave him the purple healer ISO. I've seen a lot of people doing Raider, but I don't agree. He's not first on the team. When you look at this team, it is Silver Sable first, Hit Monkey second, Daredevil third, and then I believe it's Punisher, then Electra. Yeah, Punisher's 115, Electra's 114. So it's 128, 127, I think 119, 118, and then 115, 114. So he's not first, which means he's not your guy applying vulns anyways. He's not the one applying vulns. His turn 1 in raid is either his special on the first node you do, or it's the ultimate on the second node you do. His ultimate already applies vulnerables, so you don't need more vulnerables. He's not a high damage dealer. Let's look at his damage. He does, 300% on this ability? Regular damage, not piercing. He does regular damage and not piercing here also, and it's like 380. That's okay at best. His passive has a heal for eating for when vulnerable enemies get hit, so he heals off his passive. He heals on his ultimate. He heals on his special, and the healer ISO itself is extra health for this guy, and he's pre-taunted with this team. So to me, there is no other ISO for this guy. He doesn't retaliate, so he's not a great barrier character. He's not a great fortifier. He's just a healer. There's nothing else for him. I mean, you could put a scrim on here for flips and things, but this is an amazing. This is probably the best basic you have, but he's not gonna be basicing because he's slow. I just don't see this kit. I hate this kit, by the way. If you haven't figured it out yet, I think these characters are terrible. But this guy, I think, is a decent healer. I think that's his functionality. Is he's just the healer for the team. Punisher, since he is 4th in the attack order and everyone applies vulnerables, I made him a striker. I want the triple tap when he does the grenade launcher hit, where he hits them and then transfers abilities. And when he does the ult, he does the single target hit and the multi-target hit. And then I want him to do the ISO attack. He's gonna delete somebody. So that's why he's striker. Electra I made striker because of what she does. I mean, her whole system that she's built around is killing you. She does a huge single target hit, then gets a speed bar, and then does her special after that for another hit. So I want to be able to striker attack with these two. I haven't decided what Hitmonkey and Sable will be, but it could be Scrim or it could be Raider. I'm not sure, but I think with these two being super late in the kill order, they're strikers. That's kind of what my theory right now. Maybe she's a Raider down the road with off her team. This guy, I don't know if he's even capable of playing off his team because of how slow he is. Um, and we'll see. I mean, right now, Daredevil, I just don't think he's playable. Let's look at his what his kit does. If this character's 4 or more vigilante allies, he gets a pre-taunt and safeguard. That's amazing on his team, but his team's not good. He applies deflect and defense up immunity to all vigilante allies. That's not 5 locks, so that's good. He's got this Vuln flip thing, which is great, but it's 5%, and it's when an enemy with vulnerable is attacked. This team's slow. 128 and 127 is pretty slow to play in War, and it's a little bit more playable in Crucible, but not a lot. So I just don't see it. They're accurate. They got 100% increased accuracy, so they're great against like things that make you miss. But there's not a lot of that in the game. He's got extra block chance and block amount. That's a good stat. But they are immune to bleed, which is a good stat. I mean, they've got some things that are good, but again, 4 locked, so you can't even modify things. Um, Outside of raids, he's always going to special first. So he's going to apply slow, defense down, offense down. He gets at the 2 turn with the T4, which I'll probably T4 some of this stuff. I just haven't decided yet. As far as raids, flip all negative effects. I mean, all that's raids. I don't care about raids. He does the raid job. He's going to be able to sim. They design it for that. They're not going to not sim. So not worried about that. 2 turn taunt defense up, but it's 119 speed. Like that's so slow. People are gonna obliterate Hitmonkey and Sable before that happens. They're gonna CC people. Like this guy's too slow. Um, this basic is amazing, but the problem is it's so slow. Um, Now, one thing to note is this guy might be a striker too. I haven't decided that part because of this effect here. He flips 3 negative effects to positive effects on vigilante allies. That is kind of huge, which kind of makes me think he's also a striker. I need to look more into what Hitmonkey and Sable do because they put out some vulnerables also, and I don't know when they do it. I don't know. I don't remember when her turn 1 is. I think she can ult turn 1, and if she can, she applies vulnerables. So there might be vulnerables already on the field that he's going to get a striker hit also. And I think Hitmonkey also does some of that kind of stuff. So it looks like we're going to probably play Raider on Hitmonkey by looking at it. I'm guessing this is his first turn. Without having everything available, I don't know. Which is, again, why I hate having to pull the purple ISO trigger on day 1. I really wish they didn't make us do that, to go raid with them, but they did. It's fine. So I'm thinking healer or striker is kind of where I'm at with this guy. I think these two are guaranteed striker. I think he's more up in the air. And again, with an offense team, you generally play your offense team into things that don't hit you back. That's kind of how the game's played right now, and these guys are slow. So I just don't know if Daredevil is going to make the cut as a striker. It's going to depend on how Hitmonkey and Sable end up playing out, and we don't have them yet, so it feels really bad to get the guy that goes third on the team instead of getting Silver Sable or Hitmonkey first. But that is what it is. Let's look at his T4s. On offensive, this character has 4 more vigilante allies, lower the damage of enemies with vulnerable. This is a guaranteed T4. If you're playing this team, you're taking this T4. His special, which is his turn 1, is just 2 turn. You'll definitely take this one again, and probably another mandatory T4. His ultimate, which is his turn 2, is defense up and immunity for 2 turns. Again, I don't think there's a non-mandatory T4 here. That's just kind of how the game is right now, especially if you have strikers. Like when you do strikers, you want a T4 the basic because you're getting improved ISO attacks from that. So to me, he's like T4 everything, and as you can see, I'm kind of limited on my T4, so I will be working towards this, but it's not my highest priority right now because I can't use these characters. As a 3-piece, they aren't playable. They don't work in raid yet. Until we get the full team, I will be working on them daily, but it's not my highest priority right now to T4 everything, spend all my stuff, and I wouldn't have even done Electra if I didn't accidentally do it. That was 100% a mistake. Punisher, you're gonna do the passive. It's a guaranteed one. The special ability increases the ping damage. That's huge. His ultimate gives the extra single target attack, and it gives you more piercing damage. That's going to be a huge. That's a 20% damage increase plus the single. This is the transfer thing, and some of you guys might have these done from when this guy was part of the mercenary team. I didn't use that team back in the day, so I don't have them. So I'm just there with you guys and needing to upgrade him also. This is a good one. There's times where you'll use this over the ultimate. I think they're both worth it. His basic might be the one that maybe is not worth it, but it changed the 2 additional targets, which is still really good. So to me, he's a T4 everything also. I also think he might be a G20 character and a 3 diamond character because he's super cheap. He is only 2 G20 pieces, which is kind of huge for a skilled category. We might take him into the Xavier trial just for that reason, because we don't need as much G20 gear. So to me, if that's the case, we're gonna T4 everything. We're gonna 3 diamond him, which I'm currently looking for. His piece right now is the molecular cloth, which is I think quite a bit of. I don't know who I can show. I think I know where I can show that. His molecular cloth is. We'll go into here. Oh, I can't do that. Never mind. That ended. I don't know. Molecular cloth's the one I have a lot of. I'm pretty sure. As you can see, I don't have enough of the Crimson Carbodium for Electra, so need more of those. But the characters that need them are not very important to me, so that's good. This guy uses the shield tech, which again is not a very important piece. I've shown that in the past because some of the Alpha Flight members use it. Here it is. That's that shield tech piece. Mockingbird and Kestrel. I'm good. So, not worried about that one. Electra. Definitely are T4ing the passive because you want her in stealth. That's going to not allow someone to stun her right away. That makes her playable on defense, makes her playable on offense. I think that's required. The 50% revive or 50% increase the health is a big deal, so she doesn't revive with 3 HP. I think that'll make her playable. The 80% kill I think you have to have. This was her upgraded T4 from Shadowlands. So some people, if you're back in the day, probably already have it done. This one applies 2 more vulnerables. So when she eats her vulnerables, she's going to put more vulnerables out there. So that's going to kind of help keep this team going, which makes me think it's a pretty essential one. And this one, it doesn't look essential, but it really kind of is. When there's bleeds on a ISO or on a basic, when you upgrade this, it upgrades the bleed substantially, which gives them piercing damage on their ISO attack. It makes their ISO attack better. It makes their basic better. To me, this team is very T4 heavy. I don't think there's a skip on this team so far. And so, with that being said, I don't think this team's real great. So I'm going slow on them to see what they do. It might be one of these teams where you make Punisher super huge and you just build this team like Bifrost and you don't build them huge. You might take them to G18, you might do something like that just to make them function in raids, because if they don't function in the rest of the game, you don't care about them. I don't care about a Daredevil and an Elektra if they don't do anything. If they don't do anything in War and they don't do anything in Crucible and they aren't used in any other mode, why not just build them big enough to do the max level raid and just leave them alone? So that's my food for thought for you guys. I wanted to show you all the cool events that were going on. So far, I'm not super excited about these characters. I'm a little more excited about Hitmonkey and Sable because I think they have a little bit better plug-and-play kit. But Daredevil, his kit stinks. And he's unplayable by himself, and he's unplayable as a 3-piece team. And you guys make the decisions for yourselves, but for me, he was worth buying and unlocking because I want to 100% the raids, but he, to me, is not a good character and not a character I plan to continue investing on because I think he's good in the game. Personally, the way I think that they need to fix these characters is they need to open their kits up. Daredevil should not require 4 characters to be able to taunt and safeguard. He should require 3. He should be able to pre-taunt at some full form and be a useful character without having his full team exist. Requiring 4 is absolutely ridiculous. And part of the reason I think 4-man teams are terrible is we have sack jammers who exist, and I don't know about you guys, but they did really terrible for me the entire Crucible because we can counter them. We can counter them without much effort, and this team feels garbage. So I don't know about you, but they don't feel good. And as you can see, I have a 2-diamond Lilandra, and I don't have a small Havoc and Duck, and they still feel bad. I took 3 diamonds on Raccoon and Groot, and I regret it 100%. I'm not going to make the same mistake with this team. If you guys like this stuff, please come thumbs up the video, come like and subscribe. Tell me what you think. Am I wrong? Am I right? Is there something you'd change on these characters? Let me know.